In what ways can you create a power gap in a CGL dynamic when the sub is acting more like their current age? Nurturing is very powerful, and nurturing is very seductive, and nurturing goes a long way. Thing is, care is not about being little. Care is about nurturing. Receiving care isn't about being little, it's about being nurtured. Giving care is not about caring for someone who cannot take care of themselves necessarily. It's about nurturing. It's about the nurturing quality in your care. So, a few examples of how to create more of that power gap in a CGL dynamic without age regression starts with tenderness and affection. Like I just used in the previous analogy, what are we doing? We're not only being very, very present, but we're being tender with how we speak. We're being direct, but we're being tender with how we speak. We're being seductive with our energy. We're being very affectionate. We're holding a face or stroking a cheek or touching your hair or, even, a seductive little grab around the throat where you kind of stroke for a second. All of these moments create that power gap because that submissive who's receiving that nurturing is going to start melting and blissing out like everyone has already demonstrated for us. So tenderness and affection go a long way. Go a long way. The next one I would say could be an option for you, cooking meals and actually feeding your submissive. There's this beautiful scene in 9.5 Weeks where the two main characters are having dinner and they're about done and she stands up to go do the dishes and he goes, no, you don't do the dishes. You don't ever have to do the dishes. I do the dishes. I'll buy the food. I'll cook for you. I'll feed you. I'll undress you dress you at night, dress you in the morning kind of thing. And he's going through that list. And she's not an age player, but she doesn't have to be cared for in that way. And so he's creating this intense power gap by saying, no, I'm going to care for you. You're down here. You just receive, baby. I'm up here. I got this. My shoulders are big enough for you. And I think that's a very powerful way to create that power gap within your dynamic. Cooking meals, feeding your submissive. It doesn't have to be baby food with a baby spoon. It can be very seductive and very romantic and very age appropriate as an adult. Another one would be just bathing your submissive, washing their hair, shaving their legs, whatever, shaving other private places. All of that takes a lot of vulnerability for the submissive, trust for the submissive, and builds a lot of nurturing and care. Even tucking your submissive into bed. It doesn't have to be a cute little bedtime story or anything like that, but it could be just taking them by the hand and leading them in bed and putting the covers up over them and just sitting with them and stroking their hair for a moment, or just recapping your day and giving them some praise or some affection. Like that little tuck-in process can be a beautiful thing. Massages are also great, but massages, back massages, that's not just an act of service for a submissive to a dominant, but that could be a very beautiful way to care and nurture a submissive, especially if they have, back issues or neck issues or something. Then call them over and offer to give them a massage, something like that. And, little things that we touched on the tenderness and the affection, but little things like even calling them over to you and just putting your arm around them, brushing their hair, braiding their hair, calling them over to sit on your lap, curl up in your arms, lay across your lap, things like that. Submissives, even if you're not an age player, are you going to feel cared for? And is that going to create a power gap where you're just blissed out? These are all amazing. Absolutely good. So I think those are examples, just a few of the ways that you can nurture and care and really show you are the alpha, you are the dominant, you are the one who's in charge, without, forcing a submissive into any sort of age regression rage.